Thank you for tuning in to TTV. I'm your host, Toya, and today is Magnificent Monday. So I hope your week is starting out to a wonderful week. I hope you had a wonderful morning. Just getting started in your day, whatever it is you do. And yes, I'm going to keep singing. No, I'm not going to sing through the whole thing. But I wanted to come back. I know on Friday I touched on perception and how people have different perceptions of who you are and how you present yourself based off of their own experiences and how they feel about their own selves. But I really want to go spend some more time in that because perception is a really big thing as far as how people process what they come across in the world. And sometimes that processing isn't in the most effective manner. Nice way to put it. But anyway, I want to start out. I just did a quick search on Google, for what is perception. And the one I feel resonates with how we do as human beings from one other to another, from one person to another. I'm gonna go with the one from Wikipedia, and that one states that perception is the organization, identification, and interpretation of sensory information in order to represent and understand the present information or environment. All perception involves signals that go through the nervous system, which in turn results from physical or chemical stimulation of the sensory system. Another one that was just under the Google search says a way of regarding, understanding, and interpreting something, a mental impression. And that's really what it falls down. Perception is really just what that last one says. It's a mental impression. Okay. And we had that impression based off of the experiences that we have in our lives. So if you had a lot of positive and good experiences, then your perception on things is going to be on the optimistic side. If you had not a negative experiences, not so much good stuff going on, everything was bad, then you're going to have more of a pessimistic perception. And then you have everybody else who's usually in somewhere in between, where sometimes we're in that pessimistic side, sometimes we're in the optimistic side. And it's just a matter of where and how we feel internally about what's going on. Now, the problem with it comes in is when you put that interpretation off on someone else. So if you feel like you are worthless, you feel like you are this horrible person that doesn't deserve any friends or anything. First of all, if that's how you feel, please go seek some help. Okay. Talk to somebody, because I don't think there is anybody I've ever come across that would deserve to feel like that. And I don't think there's a person that I have personally come across that should feel that way. I don't. And I'm not going to say there are some horrible people in this world who don't even feel that way. Okay. And they should. Okay. But you probably, if you're one of those people that I just mentioned, you go get some help. Seriously. All jokes aside, seriously, go get some help, because nobody should feel that way about themselves. Okay. But if you have somebody who's coming to you and that's how they typically are in their life, and they're coming to you and they're trying to put you down and try to say things like, oh, you feel like you better than everybody else. That is their perception. Okay. That has nothing to do with you. It has to do with the perception of what they have when they look in the mirror at themselves. So I don't think perception gets talked about enough. I really don't. Because like I said, it's a mental impression that we use to process the information that we come to on a day-to-day basis. If you were somebody who, for example, was robbed, okay, let's say you got robbed, and you see somebody walking down the street in a hoodie, you're going to automatically assume something negative of that person because of your past experience. And it could be somebody just is cold. Like right now, it's cold. Okay. It's cold in this room where I'm recording this. It is freezing. Okay. So I have on a hoodie. So your perception may be that that person is going to cause you some harm just because of a past experience that you had. And it has nothing to do with that person. That person could just be a regular person. You know how many kids wear hoodies? Okay, all the time, like even in the wintertime, like I don't know what's wrong with these kids in hoodies in the winter. But anyway, they wear hoodies all the time. So it's not that wearing a hoodie is something that you have to guard yourself against. It's the experience that you had that puts you on guard against what happened. Now to get out of the darkness, okay, because the dark side of the perception is when you have that negative perception. But let's say for the people who, on the flip side, have a different perception, okay, like dogs. You perceive yourself as being scared of dogs because your mom was scared of dogs, or you had a brother or sister that had a situation with a dog. You weren't even near, didn't even see it, but because of their fear and because of how they talk to it and because of how they respond to it. I'm sorry, y'all. That's why I got my hands covered because I'm cold. But because of how they respond to it and what they think of it and their experience on it, it's rubbed off on you. So their perception becomes your own perception. Their perception of dogs being scary and vicious and harmful is now your perception, and you don't have anything based off of it other than somebody else's experience. So you come across a dog that's wonderful and the sweetest dog ever to live, and you don't give the dog a chance because of your perception of somebody else's. So it's not even your thought. It's not even how you feel. It's something that you were programmed to feel and programmed to believe based off of somebody else's fear, based off of somebody else's ideals and experience. And we do that with a lot. If you think about religion, you think about traditions that get passed down. There's a story that I told before, one that you may have heard of before, where the lady was cooking the turkey. Like whenever they had Thanksgiving, the mom always cut the ends of the legs of the turkey and put them in the front. And so when she grew up and got her own family, got married, and decided to have Thanksgiving, she cut the ends of the turkey and put them in the front. And her mom asked her why she did that. And she said, well, because you always did it. It's our tradition. And she said, honey, I only did that because it wouldn't fit in the pan. So in order to make it fit, I had to cut it off and put it in the front. So the whole time is your perception was this was a tradition in your family. The mom's perception, I did it because that's what I needed to do to get the turkey to cook. But and that's how it is. It's like we make these ideals, we make these ideologies based off of our own perceptions. And sometimes those perceptions aren't even things that we have ourselves. Sometimes it's stuff that we were taught off of other people. Like if you think about religion, your religion is probably the same religion that your parents had. Or if you don't have a religion, it's probably because your parents didn't have a religion. And a lot of times that has to do with the teachings. It has something to do with their perception on life and, the spiritual realm and all of that. It has nothing to do. It's just how you were taught and trained. And I'm not saying good or bad. I'm just saying that's how it is. Okay. It is what it is. Your perception on some of these things aren't even yours. It's something that you were taught or something you were trained based off of something somebody else believed in. And so in order as we go through life and to feel better and to get to this place where, things aren't so horrible for us and we can actually be happy and grateful for the things that we have, we got to move past that perception. We have to understand that perception was just based off of an experience, and that's not how it always is. So going back to the dog, for example, you come across this friendly dog that you're afraid of because your sibling got bit by a dog and was scared of dogs. You weren't even before you was even born. So you don't even know nothing about this. And now here you have this friendly dog that's sweet as pie that's coming to you for some affection and you scared of it. So in that moment, you have a choice. You can live in that fear that isn't even based off of your own experience, or you can create a new experience with a more welcoming and a more friendly participant, which will be the dog, the friendly dog. And y'all know I love dogs. That's why I use the dog metaphor. Because I love my babies, okay? Even the one I get on my last nerve. But all I'm saying is that sometimes when we have these mythologies, we have these thoughts, we have these perceptions that we go through our life with, sometimes we need to stop and reflect and reevaluate those perceptions, especially if they're causing detriment in our life. Like if you're a germaphobe, because your mom was a germaphobe. And so, especially in times like we have right now with, stuff that's going on, you're scared to go outside of your house. That's a problem. Because guess what? Germs are everywhere. They're in the air we breathe. They're in every surface you touch. I don't care if they say it kills 99.9% of bacteria and stuff. Guess what? It's still going to be something on there in a little bit. Okay? It's not going to keep it away. We need that. We need to come in contact with that. Because it's healthy for our immune system. It exercises our immune system when we come across stuff. And so when we do get something that's detrimental, our immune system can handle it. So All I'm saying is, and I know I said that already, but all I'm saying is that sometimes we have to take a step back and really reevaluate, why do I think the way I do? What is this perception coming from? Because sometimes it's not even from us. It's not even what we thought. It's the perception somebody else had that was programmed into us. And so now we have it. So just something to be aware of, some food for thought, for you as you go through this thing called life. So, but that's the message for today. So I hope you got something out of it. I really do, because I really know, I know perception is a big deal. And perception is, I would say, 95% of most problems that people have in this world is based off of your perception. So if you've going through life and you're in a challenging spot, change your perception on it, and I bet you it will get better. Change your perception. Look at it differently, and it'll get better. All right. I love you guys, and I will talk to you